Hi friends, I am Sweta Kaushal and today we are in conversation with Padmini Kolhapure. Welcome ma'am, welcome to Hindustan Times.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
So you've recently launched a music label with your son, Dhamaka Records. And you've been associated with music and singing from your childhood, I think. You've also
That's correct.
You've also sung songs in many of your own films. You've done chorus for some films. And do you want to talk about your love for singing and music? I mean, people mainly know you about like as an actor, but this is one major part.
Yes, it has been a major part of my life because singing was my first passion. I wanted to become a playback singer. So I've grown up, listening to music, to classical singing, to my aunts, that is Lata ji and Asha ji. Grown up listening to their songs and sort of watching them sing. And we've actually, because you know how it's like, how do you say, like a doctor's family, when kids are growing up, they see their parents, with the typical, their doctor's coat or a stethoscope or, things that, so for them, it is that only. Same way for me, Shivangi and Tejaswini, it was singing. I mean, we've just seen that. So for me, I wanted to become a singer, and of course, destiny took a turn I won't say for the better or for the worse, but of course, it was fantastic.
You also had an album with Bappi Lahiri.
Yes, I did. That was a great experience because we recorded it in London. So, and it was called The Music Lovers.
It was.
Yes.
How did it feel at that age getting your own music album with Bappi Lahiri?
It felt great, of course. I mean, I sang so many songs with greats like R.D. Burman, Lakshmikant Pyarelal, Kalyanji Anandji, So for me, yes, that was another feather in my cap, making an album with Bappi.
How do you see your family, yourself, your son, your sisters, kids, amid the entire debate of nepotism? Do you feel that you have been privileged, or maybe
I have been privileged because?
Not you, your family members, as in your son, your sisters, kids, Shraddha, Siddhant. Do you feel they have been privileged or have had an upper hand in kind of finding a ground?
I would rather use the term blessed. Priyaank, Shraddha and Siddhant are blessed to have born in these families of, such great talent. A doctor's child becomes a doctor. Does that mean that there's nepotism there? A lawyer's son becomes a lawyer. Does that mean there's nepotism there?
I think
a singer's
still holds ground because when you try to become a doctor or when you want to become a doctor, there are certain entrance exams that you sit through and you need to get through those before you actually hold a doctor's or a lawyer's degree for
right.
LLB.
I agree. I totally agree to what you're saying.
For entertainment.
Yeah, this is a how do you say mass examination. So you have the entire world looking at you and striking you off or accepting you. Whereas when you're going for to becoming a doctor or a lawyer, there are certain tests, some examinations, teachers and all those things around you, which is comparatively limited. Here it is mass.
So how do you see your journey through this entire long
Beautiful. I think I have been truly blessed. I have done some great films. I've done some great roles. I have worked with great directors. I have worked with legends. great actors, male, female. So I think I've been blessed. That's all I can say.
Yes, you've worked in very different kinds of films, different, very, very diverse kind of roles. Do you have a favorite? Maybe with the kind of vast filmography that you have, I'm sure you cannot pick one favorite. Maybe, favorites in an era or favorites for each genre or something. Do you have something like that?
I mean, when it comes to filmmakers, yes, it is going to be very different because I've worked with, starting with Raj Kapoor to B.R. Chopra, some great directors down south, Mr. Balchandra, Bharti Raja, Bapu Saab. Greats. I mean, so it's difficult to pick and choose. But yes, because I was introduced by Raj Kapoor and it was, for me, he was more like an institution. I mean, I've learned today what I am is thanks to him as a director, as a filmmaker. When it comes to actors, again, wow, I've worked with legends like Dilip Kumar, Devanand, Rajesh Khanna, and Sanjeev Kumar, and Shami Kapoor, and Shashi Kapoor. Who do you want me to choose?
I wouldn't want you to choose anyone.
No, I mean, who can I choose? I know you don't want me to choose anyone. Who can I? I cannot. I'll tell you what, I was a great fan of Rishi Kapoor and Neetu Singh. So I used to go and watch their movies first day, first show. I was a mad fan of Rajesh Khanna. And I used to sort of literally mimic him, imitate him. I would dance on his songs and, act like him. So, and then I was just, it was such a great opportunity to have worked with these actors.
And was there a moment or a phase that changed you as a person because of what you encountered and learned while working in films?
No, nothing much. I mean, of course, I missed out on my childhood, because I was working at that age. So, but then I enjoyed doing it. I loved every bit of it because I didn't have to go to school. I didn't need to study so much. So for me, that was one, joy ride and happy moments for me, which I cherish.
Were there any decisions that in hindsight you think maybe you could have made those differently?
Not really, because actually I was very happy and very fortunate to have had my parents' total support. Because when you start that young, your parents are in charge. And today when I look back and think back, I'm so happy and so glad that they were in charge of my career, of my life. So I'm pretty fortunate about that, and definitely I don't think there's anything I felt that I could change. I mean, you can't get everything you want, right, in life. I have no doubt lost out on a couple of films because I was so busy. I could not give dates. I had to back out of certain projects. So yes, I mean, those few things I do feel bad, but that's...
But nothing that you think that if you could go back and do it again, nothing that you want to do it differently?
I don't think so. And I don't think too much of the past. I think you should just kind of get on in life. You can't just sit and think about the past and say, oh, I wish I'd done this and I wish it was like this and I wish it was like that. I live in the moment.
You took a break around your son's birth, break from the work. And it was also very common in that time that women would not just take a break, but also often quit working totally after marriage or after birth of a child or something. How do you see the industry and the society, how they've changed through time with respect to how women need to make those compromises if you want to kind of juggle family and career as well?
For me, it was my choice. I wanted to give up work. So it's not like I compromised and I had any kind of pressure from my husband or my in-laws or anything of that sort. I wanted to give, and I had decided that I'm going to quit work once I get married, whenever that would be. And I did that. Of course, it took me about 2.5 years to complete all my assignments. After that, I had my son. So it was all me and my family and my son, my husband. So I led a typical, life of a mother, new mother who was bringing up her child. So it's not like I had decided that I'm going to ever come back. Never. I didn't think about it. But when I started thinking about work, okay, now my son is grown up, I want to start work. Now, what for me is work? For me, work is acting. I've done that all my life. It's not like I'm going to get up and suddenly say, okay, I think I'm going to start working. I want to go for a 9-to-5 job, or I want to become a hostess, or whatever it may be, or maybe start a restaurant or For me, work was acting. So that is the first thing that came to my mind. And at that time, I was offered a film, a Marathi film. And being a Maharashtrian, I've always wanted to do a Marathi film. And I did Chimni Pakha. And that was supposed to be made in two, it was meant to be bilingual. It was done in Hindi as well as Marathi, but Hindi never saw the light of day. So the Marathi film Chimni Pakha released, and was beautifully accepted and welcomed by the Marathi community. And I salute to all those women who are working and looking after the family and bringing up children. Oh, hats off to them. I mean, wow. It's tough. I mean, I've been home for the past 1.5 years during this pandemic. I think it's tougher being a homemaker than a working woman. Because you see, when you're working, you leave your, you have to switch off, and you're at work. Yes, there are certain times where, you have children calling and you have your husband calling or family saying, this, ye nahi hua, wo nahi hua, blah, blah, this, that. But still you're out of the house. But when you're home, there's every single thing you need to look into. And I've actually realized that in this entire pandemic, and how important it is to bond as a family. The understanding. Well, I mean, this entire period has taught, the world, I think, it's taught me a lot to value each and everything, whether it is physical, whether it is spiritual, whether it is material, nature, friends, relations, all these things, actually this time has taught us a lot.
Beautiful. Working with your son, how do you see it being a mom and also sort of a partner? How do you work that out?
Well, actually, Priyank's partner is Paras Mehta. That's his partner. But yes, I am the co-founder, and I'm the mother hen sitting on their head. But it feels good because they're both talented. They're both dynamic. I mean, today's generation is just so dynamic. They know so much about this, about technology and about the music industry, and you can reach out and you can just reach. It's limitless where your reach can reach, actually. So it's. I've given him a free hand, and I'm extremely critical because. He makes me and my husband hear the track once it comes.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for your time. It was lovely talking to you.